The 2025-2026 EPL season has been very, very interesting, and we don't see some very, very wonderful talent. We've seen players play their heart for their team. We've seen some players that have been extremely good, and we don't see some players where they very poor. At the same time, we don't see some players who started very slowly, and right now in their teams, their clubs cannot do without them. So today, this is the Refined Football Podcast Show. Myself and my team, we go sit down and talk about some players that deserve the mention or a shot at the Premier League Player of the Season. 2025-2026 season. Of course, you know I'm never alone to do justice to football discussions like this. I have with me Coach Robert on my immediate right. Coachy, welcome to the studio today. Of course, I'm a Manchester United fan and he's repping his club by wearing Manchester United jersey. On my far right is Charlie Chonchin, the man who seems to be in finest form, the man that feeds his goals with unkwobi, chicken, turkey, and every mouth-watering meal you can call. Any match watching me. And in the top one with unkwobi.
Thank you for that introduction. The last person that introduced me like that, the following year, the person left Nigeria.
And you are still here. Somebody will greet you. Go that side.
Yes,
okay, the only thing only one say wait, I go introduce you like this. I go book it.
Yes, so just greet an Arsenal fan.
So today, myself and my team we go sit down because we are now football analysts. We want to analyze best performance or best performer this season for EPL. We have so many players who don't do well. If you go to every team in the EPL, the 20 teams in the EPL, we get at least 2-3 players that are doing absolutely well for their team. We are going to stream it down to our own top 3. Of course, the Premier League don't bring out their own short list of 5 to 6 players, but in our own space here, we're going to stream it down to top 3 in our own books, our own rating, our own level of analysis. I'll start with Kochi. 2025-2026 season has been very, very interesting, and it's unfortunate that the team that is topping the table, and our team will be saying, no, they used to lifting trophies. But this season, they are fighting so hard and they want to lift something.
Because the one who don't win, don't
rust. And their shelf, their cabinet is just beaming with FA Cup and Carabao Cup and Community Shield. Emirate Cup.
Their Kindred Cup.
So now it's been interesting. First of all, Arsenal topping the league for a very long time, interesting. Man City inconsistent, interesting. Liverpool spending money and not in the top 3, interesting. Chelsea spending billions in 2 years, not in the top 5, not in the top 4, interesting. Manchester United, for the first time in 2 years, in the top 3, interesting. Now, Coachy, I want you to take your time and tell us your own top 3 EPL player of the season. Your own books.
Yeah, as it is, this season has been so entertaining. And what's the most entertaining part of it is that Arsenal is topping the league. That is the most entertaining part of it. Yes, and there's a party waiting for us. And I pray, just let them win. Let them know, because they have changed the weight of Premiership trophy. They have changed the weight. 15K now, that's increased. So at least let them feel it. Let it be as if we follow others go market, making them see other people know. Yeah, it is fine. And from Arsenal, they have good players who have been so fantastic from the beginning of the season up to this moment. The same thing with Man City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, in one way or the other, based on how you analyze and see players. There are good players. Some started late, like you said, and now they are coming up. Somebody like our Sesko, he's starting lately. Somebody like Joao Pedro in Chelsea, he has picked his form now. That is the eye of Chelsea now. But when it comes to picking those ones that have made are exceptionally, let me use that word, exceptionally good in this season, I believe I'll have from my own team, I'll have Bruno Fernandes. If I'm to, I have Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes this season has been the neck of Manchester United, carrying the head. I've been so strong. They have been so committed, though with little or small challenges, at times, but he has shown great quality.
That level he brought
Yeah,
in the first season.
yeah, but yeah, he had shown great quality. He had shown great leadership. He had shown great football play. You know, though Amorim could have killed him, let me use that word, but now he has been, he had been revived, and now he's at the peak of his. And if you check now, when it comes to assists, I believe he's
about to create.
He's about
to hit that record,
and maybe which we know that before the end of the season he might break it and set a new record. So that is one of them. So when it comes to fixing the 1, 2, 3, then we'll know. Then in Arsenal, I see their midfield maestro, Declan Rice, as one of the players that has shown class, you know, this season. Then in Liverpool, there is a player there, even if I am blind, that I have been hearing his name, I will also put him in because he has, what would I put it? He has been in every position in Liverpool, giving the same energy, giving the same performance, you know, in the name of Zlobozan. He is very, 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 very good, very fantastic. Though Liverpool generally is not doing well, but him as an individual is Liverpool this season. You know, he has been steadily consistent in his performance. Maybe apart from the times, maybe little injury and small setback, you know, as players and human beings, you know. So these three, I see them being part of my own, yeah.
Thank you very much, Coach. I think I'm going to agree totally with the list you have brought. Starting from Declan Rice, he has been very quiet, but if you check his stats, he's there. Talking about Bruno Fernandes, right from the beginning, he has been Manchester United main man, even under Amorim. But the reason the world is seeing him today is because they have a new coach and they are winning. Winning exposes you to a lot of possibilities, a lot of positivities as well. Declan Rice.
Not only winning, not only winning. You know, during the time of Amorim, I would say partly he's been played off his normal position. But Carrick now has brought him into his normal position, and that is why he's playing
out of position. He was still doing something.
Yeah, but it wasn't as when he is playing.
He's winning under Amorim. People might not even be seeing it.
But analysts will still see it because his contributions might not be the same. Yeah.
Now your top three is Bruno Fernandes, Declan Rice, and Szoboszlai. I think if I'm going to do my own top three, I'm still going to have those same names. So Charlie Chanchin, your at least one of your players made the top three.
I would totally have to disagree with the list Coach just brought out, because if you are looking at the criteria to choose the Premier League player of the season, one thing is always standing out, which is what? Consistency. Now, when we are talking about consistency, we are not just talking about a player who started scoring maybe for halfway of the season or started performing from halfway of the season. No, you don't start performing from halfway and at the end of the season, maybe you gave your team extra push and they ended the season well and you want to win the PFA of the season. No, yes, it's possible. But now we are talking about Premier League player of the season. They did not say who will be the Premier League player of March to August.
Yes, if you
they are saying Premier League player of the season. That means what they meant is from the day the season started till the end of the season. So that is what Premier League player of the season. That is the criteria they are supposed to have. Consistency from the beginning to the end.
There's no player that can be consistent from.
No. See, you can be consistent. You can be putting a 7/10 performance every week. That's consistency. So when I'm talking about consistency, I'm not saying you should be scoring every match or you should be keeping a clean sheet every match or you should be having a major impact in the game every match. If you put in a 6 or 7/10 performance every week, that's consistency. So let me go to my list. Like I said I will have to disagree with Coach list. So yeah,
Disagree. No,
Yes. So I will have to disagree. So my own list, number one on my list, when I say this number one is undisputed number one, is Gabriel Magalhaes, the defender of Arsenal. See, like I said, I'm looking for the player who has been consistent from the beginning of the season till this point of the season. And the only player that stand out for me with that consistency is Gabriel Magalhaes. Why? Because at this point of the season, when it comes to scoring of goals from a centre back, he scored the most goals for any other team in the Premier League. He has the most goals in the Premier League when it comes to centre back. That's one. Yes, this season. Secondly, the team he plays for has the highest clean sheets in the league. And if you're talking about clean sheets, you cannot talk about clean sheets and not mentioning defenders because they are part of that defensive line.
Mentioning defenders.
Defenders. So, and it's part of that rock that stand the defensive unit of Arsenal. Thirdly, when you look at Gabriel's impact in both defending and scoring goals in both box, he ticks everything ahead of any other defender in the Premier League this season. So that makes him a standout defender among every other player. If you are talking about the likes of Saliba, Van Dijk, I'm talking about top defenders in the Premier League who also has that same shout. Saliba, Van Dijk, let me see somebody from, I don't think anybody from Man U that is performing well. So I think these are the two defenders that, okay, might want to share that same baton with him. But when it comes to consistency, I think he has that edge over other defenders. So to me, when it comes to Premier League player of the season, is my undisputed number one.
You are undisputed.
Yes, my undisputed is an opinion. So my undisputed number one. Number two, the next player I will give a shout to is Declan Rice. I might be an Arsenal fan, but when it comes to this PFA player of the season, I'm being unbiased because we are here to make a good analysis to see those players that have been performing well this season. So Declan Rice also has that consistency from the beginning of the season till this present moment. Maybe if you are talking about midfielders who, and if you go to the start of midfielders this season, he has a very good start for a midfielder who is not an attacking midfielder. So it's more like a box to box. So he does the work of both attacking and defending. So for player who has, yeah, he's playing more like a box to box because he plays. No, Zubimendi sits more. So sits more. So Declan Rice, yes. So Declan Rice, when Arsenal is out of possession, Declan Rice assists Zubimendi in the middle.
No, that one is the mobility of players.
Yes. No, what I'm saying is a more yes, he's a midfielder. But the work.
But his work there is more of a central midfielder, playing behind the striker. Zubimendi plays as the last holding midfielder. Just like
see, why I am saying Declan Rice is more of a box to box because if Arsenal is progressing the ball, you see more of Declan Rice in the opposition box before you see a player like Zubimendi. So, and when Arsenal is defending in their box, you see Declan Rice always active.
Almost every midfielder.
Yes. So like I said, Declan Rice is a very big shout for me in that PFA player of the season. And the third person I will give that position to is Thiago that plays for Brentford. Now, let's not forget, if before the start of the season, Brentford lost their manager who we know his impact in that team. And after the manager left, so they brought in another manager. I think the current manager, Kate Andrew, happens to be their set piece coach. So they brought him in to be in charge of that team. And Igor Thiago, I think this is the first season he's playing from the beginning to the end. Like I think the previous season he had injury when they brought him from Belgian League. So this is the first full season that he's playing. So for him to have that impact, currently he has 18 goals and 1 assist. For a striker who is having a first full season in the Premier League, to me, that's a very good number. And again, if you look at Brazilians who has played in the Premier League, the likes of Firmino, the likes of Gabriel Jesus, who has won multiple Premier League titles, and a lot of Brazilian attackers. Igor Thiago is the current Brazilian with the most goals in the Premier League season. He has shattered that record. So I cannot go beyond somebody who has had that wonderful performance so far this season.
Is right. But I believe out of all this, how many times he won the league?
I can't count.
See, you can win.
See, when you are talking about, there are some people that you cannot even take away some players that have won maybe player of the constitutions have been made from that place. Player of the month. Those have been made from that place also.
Yes.
You don't only talk about scoring goals. There are some people that have scoring goals that have been playing better.
Okay. Let me come in.
His role there is
Let me come in. You see, you can be a very good player and have a chance for PFA Player of the Year and not win Player of the Week. Do you know why? Let me use this as an example. I'm going to give you a classical example. Pep Guardiola, he has won Manager of the season for 2 consecutive seasons. Do you know that Guardiola, those period he won Manager of the season, he did not win Manager of the month.
In which of the
last season he won last 2 seasons he won the champion the league. He did not win Manager of the month throughout, but at the end of the day he won Manager of the season. So why is in EPL? Now let me tell you why Igor Thiago might not win Player of the Week, the month rather, but at the end of the day he might be PFA Player of the season. For you to win Player of the week of the month rather, that means you have to be consistent throughout the month. Igor Thiago can score maybe 2 goals this weekend and go blank the following weekend and score another 1 goal. But you can have a player, maybe a player like
and such a thing, if you can take it the same way you have said it now.
That is what I'm saying.
A player like Bruno Fernandes.
No, Bruno Fernandes. My problem.
Bruno Fernandes cannot threaten him up.
Let me tell you my problem with Bruno Fernandes.
Because see,
Bruno Fernandes is not in my top 3.
Why?
Let me tell you. Bruno Fernandes, beginning of the season, he wasn't performing compared to how his performance is at the moment. Bruno Fernandes' performance started when Manchester United went out of the Carling Cup, went out of the FA Cup, and let me finish. They just have the Premier League to play. Let me finish. And look at, Bruno Fernandes presently, he has 16 assists and 7 goals. That's his start this season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Go and fast check the number of assists and the number of goals he had since Michael Carrick came in. You will notice that his performance skyrocketed when Carrick came into the job. That means beginning of the season, he wasn't as consistent as this.
The 16 assists did not come. Now that's Carrick.
That's why I said he has more. I'm not saying he had most of the assists. He has more.
Carrick was announced the coach. He had 7 assists.
7 assists. So compare 7 minus 16.
From the time of from the beginning of the season. Go and still fact check this ego.
Yes.
Check when he started scoring goals.
Even
there must be a time.
Yes, now Igor Thiago started scoring from the beginning of the season.
It's like there's no shooter earlier that didn't score.
Yes, now definitely.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. What is his name? Haaland. Haaland always starts in the beginning to score his goals. Then at the middle and at the end,
now we are comparing the teams.
Try to bring bringing them in 1 by 1. They add to the number. You know what I mean? A midfielder, a player might not start from the beginning. So as you started the song, started from the beginning, continue. Stop song, we continue again. So not start from the beginning, then at the end they keep coming in. That's why I tell you that even some people that started from the half season and being very consistent might still win it.
Igor Thiago has been for somebody to have 18 goals in the Premier League. 18 goals in the Premier League. Yes, that's consistency. Do you know why I said so?
From Haaland as well. But Haaland, to you now, might not be in the system. Might not be in their list.
Do you know why I decided to include Igor Thiago? Igor Thiago, compare the players Igor Thiago is playing with. Compare the club, the standard of the club. You cannot compare Brentford with the likes of Man City and the like. No, I disagree. Do you know why?
This man that went to Semeyo.
Okay. For the past, coach. For the past 10 seasons, tell me how many highest goal scorer has come from a lower team. For the past 10 seasons, tell me how many goal scorers has come from a lower team who is not in the top 5. So that shows that even if you are playing in a smaller team, that doesn't give you a guarantee that, okay, you have to score more. Igor Thiago is playing in a Brentford team this season, and if you look at his goals, he has almost like 70% of Brentford goals this season in the Premier League. If you remove his goals from Brentford goals this season, Brentford will be fighting relegation.
I think in the list he has the highest number of match-winning goals.
To tell you his impact in the team. And Brentford this season, I think they are in 7th position currently. That shows his impact this season is not just about him. Its impact reflected also in the team. That is why Brentford is doing well. Same thing with.
Let's not go far with this. You've made your own list, right?
Gabriel Magalhaes, undisputed number 1. Declan Rice number 2, and Igor Thiago number 3.
According to you is Szoboszlai, Bruno Fernandes, and Declan Rice. So the only person I'm going to drag in your list is a player like Declan Rice. He has been good, but very, very quiet most of the season. Now, if you're going to talk about midfielders that has been consistent from the word go down to this very moment, you cannot place a Declan Rice ahead of Szoboszlai, no matter the position of the team in the league. There is no his impact. Wait, let's go back now. The impact of Declan Rice in Arsenal's position this season is 5%. Let me finish. The impact of let me finish. The impact of Szoboszlai in Liverpool's season this season, he's Liverpool's heart, he's the head, he's the neck, he's the stomach, he's the brain.
Now, let me bring your mind back to 2015-2016 season.
If you're talking about top 5,
Arsenal finished 2015-2016 season. Arsenal finished 2nd in the league. Mesut Ozil has 19 assists and 6 goals. That was his best season for Arsenal. But it was not even in the player of the season. Team of the season, rather. That season.
And a lot of people question it.
Yes. That's to tell you that even if you are the heartbeat of your team, like you say, Szoboszlai is the neck, is the shoulder, the position of your team also matters. Yes. Liverpool presently, yes. No, that's what I'm saying.
If you say position,
yes,
still matters. Which means that Thiago cannot be ahead of Manchester.
That is what I'm saying. Considering how Brentford is in the Premier League, nobody expected Brentford to be in this position that they are. And all thanks to Igor Thiago for making them be in that position. That is why you cannot overlook. Yes, you cannot. You cannot overlook.
Let's not go further with this. This discussion is a very, very big one. It's very, 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 very big. It's something because we still have 8 weeks more to go.
Yes. So
there's definitely some names will pop up and some names will drop.
That's what I said.
Yes.
If any name is going to pop up, I'm very certain that Gabriel Magalhaes' name will continue to be there because at the end of the day, if he's lifting the Premier League title,
guys, you don't hear him from us from TRF podcast.
You can leave the paper that let him know the weight.
We don't give him our own list. And if you believe in the list where Coach don't drop and Charles don't drop, let's hear your voice or your opinion in the comment section. But if you're against, let's hear your opinion in the comment section. Do make sure to like, comment, and share. God bless us to do so.